and let's break this down for you for a moment. The NBA owners meeting tomorrow. There are 30 of them in Dallas. It'll take 16 yes votes to approve a relocation to Seattle, 23 yes votes to approve the Hansen and Ballmer team to become part of the league. If those are all rejected, that's going to leave the Maloof brothers with one more option, and that's the Sacramento group that KJ has formed. It'll be the Maloof's move. Of course, Sacramento Kings fans know that has been unpredictable in the past. Here's a look at the Maloof's legacy up until now. The year was 2000. These were the Maloofs at the start of the millennium, drawing applause and awards from a Sacramento school board wearing suits and ties and bright smiles. 2002, and on the court, the Kings were perennial playoff contenders. Times were good. Arco was alive.
How lucky can one guy be?
On TV, the brothers were boasting they were billionaires. But by 2006, they were backing out of an arena deal, just as voters were deciding on a sales tax to pay for it.
Our preference has always been to stay here in Sacramento and try to get something done here.
The NBA forced them to stay when Mayor Kevin Johnson proposed an alternative ownership plan.
I think it's hogwash.
Tell Ron Burkle that he can go back to where he came from.
The Maloof mantra became, "We won't sell."
I don't care how much money you give me. I don't want to sell it.
In 2012, who can forget Gavin Maloof in tears following that handshake agreement? An arena deal finally seemed real.
I'm just a little emotional. It's been a long time, 13 years, as you know.
2 months passed.
Point is that there was never a deal.
He accused me of backtracking, but we all knew that there was heavy lifting to be done.
The Maloof's emotional roller coaster, from celebrated to secluded. Could this be the last we see of them?
The Sacramento Kings will be sold for $525 million to a Seattle group led by investor Chris Hansen and Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by ESPN.com NBA writer Brian Windhorst. Brian, what are some of the details of this big deal?
Well, the valuation of the team is $525 million. What Hansen and Ballmer and their investors are actually buying is about 65% of the team, which is going to come out to about $340 million. But at the end of the day, what really matters is this is a Seattle-based ownership group. Chris Hansen has led a charge to get an arena through legislation and funding through legislation in the state of Washington, and this team will be moving to Seattle next year and probably playing in a new arena within 3 seasons.
Latest efforts to keep the Kings in Sacramento. Mayor Kevin Johnson is trying to meet with the team's owners, but as of tonight, that meeting is proving to be pretty elusive.
And despite that feeling, the fans' campaign known as Here We Stay is not giving up. In fact, a campaign spokesperson told me late today they are planning a community rally to show support for the Kings. They don't yet know exactly what day it's going to be, but they tell me it will not be here at Power Balance Pavilion, but rather at Sacramento City Hall.
My name is Dave Garcia. Kind of put this together like a vision of what we can do in Sacramento, so we want to share that with you guys too. We're looking forward to this vision, this opportunity of revitalizing our downtown, and as always, you have our support.
Well, I'll tell you, let me catch my breath here. There's a lot of uncertainty, as we all know, but the one thing that we do know is the love affair between this team and this city.
So I hear that the Seattle Kings is officially a done deal.
The current owners have an agreement to sell the Kings to a Seattle group. It's time to fight. While Sacramento officials are trying to gather investors led by NBA All-Star turned Mayor Kevin Johnson.
I'm going to make every effort that I can possibly do to identify a potential buyer that would ensure that the Sacramento Kings remain in Sacramento.
In order for this to even have a chance of keeping the team in Sacramento, all these things that Kevin Johnson...
Today is the day the fight for the Kings will go before the NBA's relocation committee in New York City. The question, should the Kings stay in the capital city, or should the team be allowed to move to Seattle? That are the question, and it's going to be a tense day today.
Yes, and in a half hour, the Seattle investors will meet with the NBA. Then it's Sacramento's turn this afternoon.
KCRA3's Kevin Oliver is live in New York City, where he just spoke with representatives from Seattle. Kevin.
Yeah, we're live outside of the St. Regis Hotel, where another member of the delegation has shown up. It's actually Clay Bennett, the owner of the one of the NBA owners, who actually took the Sonics away from Seattle, and we're going to try and see if we can hear from him as he goes in. He didn't say anything as he headed in. He is the chairman of the relocation committee, which will ultimately be deciding some of the fate of the Kings as these meetings progress throughout today. Of course, he ended up with the Sonics, what was the Sonics, when they moved from Seattle a little while ago. Now, just a short time ago, the King County executive also showed up here at the St. Regis Hotel, and we had a few words with him, and he said he's very confident in his city and county's ability to get the Kings and move them to the Pacific Northwest.
I am. I'm going to be there to assure the owners that the county stands behind the commitments that we made in October to be a partner in this project, and that as a fan and a lifelong resident of King County, I am ready, along with hundreds of thousands of others, for our Sonics to come back.
Dow, I got to ask you one thing. You're up against a formidable opponent in charismatic Mayor Kevin Johnson. Mm-hmm. What are you going to say to counter his impassioned plea to the owners?
Well, they have charisma and passion. We have a lot of passion among our fans in the Pacific Northwest, but we also have a bigger media market. We have very strong backing from individuals and corporations, and we're the gateway to Asia, one of the best places for the NBA to expand. So I think we have a lot of things on our side of the ledger.
So you can sort of see that it's sort of a chaotic scene here, a lot of cars pulling up. That was the first NBA owner that we have seen come here to the St. Regis so far this morning. We are still waiting for the Sacramento delegation to show up. We have seen some Kings players starting to arrive around here. We haven't seen Mayor Kevin Johnson here yet, but the Seattle delegation is just as confident as Kevin Johnson has been over the past few weeks about their bid to try to get the Kings to move to Seattle. We will keep watch over the front doors of the St. Regis Hotel and bring you any more updates throughout the next couple of hours. Reporting live from Manhattan, Kevin Oliver, KCRA 3 reports.
Yeah, definitely a busy scene there, Kevin. We'll let you get back to it. Thank you.
I just want to say there's no place like home. Everyone's talking about Jeremy Lin and Lin Sanity in New York, but we got something in Sacramento called Sac Sanity. This is I just want to say
Sacramento! Sacramento! Sacramento!
And there's very little the fans can do.
perfectly crystal clear. It is not going to be this team.
Bottom line, Sacramento, it's not over.
Well, I agree that Sacramento, what we're doing here is Herculean.
Here we stay!
Sacramento's dream team, headed by the mayor, Kevin Johnson, feeling very optimistic.
We had a vision for this community. We stuck to it. We did everything that was asked of us and more.
City Council tonight voting 7-2 to support the term sheet.
Let's do it, Sacramento!
We go, baby! We go!
Sends a message to the NBA.
16,000 fans answer the call for Here We Buy Night.
This is good stuff. These are things you remember.
I've been screaming for 2 years now. This thing ain't over. Not by a long shot.
NBA Owners Committee recommending that the Kings stay.
This is freaking justice. That's what this is.
The battle for the Kings has finally ended.
The Kings will be sold and they'll live on in Sacramento.
Sacramento. Sacramento, I have just one thing to say to all of you. And let's never forget that one thing. This is your team, and it's here to stay.
Great situation. This environment is dope as hell here at Sacramento. They got something lit, man. Shout out to everybody who is from Sacramento, likes the Kings and all that. I had a great time and I enjoyed myself.
All the entrances into the Arco Arena right now are backed up, I would say, by about 10 or 15 minutes.
In 1985, our city didn't just welcome a team. It started a transformation. Over the years, that same city and the people within it became bold, inspired, and loud. What we built here will define a generation. And thanks to you, more generations to come. Dedication is one thing, but pride is undeniable. We are not here by chance. We are here to give back to the city who refused to give up. We are here because of you. And today, because of your everlasting loyalty and this unbreakable foundation. Together, we will transform our city again. Welcome to the new era of Proud.